Well, it looks like it's meeting time, so I guess we'll talk to you here in a second again. You good with this? Let me look as far as what they're asking. Okay, good morning. Let's start the commissioners meeting for December 15th, 2025. We have 2 commissioners present, 1 commissioner absent, so that is a quorum to do business. And we'll begin the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioner Huster, you want to put these down for Commissioner Stefano to look at later, if you'd like? So we have the clerk's report and the county treasurer's monthly report. Do you have any questions or comments about those?
None.
Me either, so we will just put in the record that we've reviewed those. We have the meeting minutes from the December 1st meeting. Any changes?
None.
I'll move that we approve the meeting minutes for December 1st.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Claims, any comments, questions, concerns there?
None.
I'll move that we approve the claims on the county.
I will second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Payroll seemed in order to me. Do you have any changes there?
No changes.
I'll move that we approve the payroll.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. So let's go ahead and get started with we have Mr. Held here for the EPA brownfield assessment.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So Indiana 15, the EPA Brownfields Coalition, Indiana Brownfields Assessment Coalition grant. We have gone through 4 rounds of this grant funding through EPA. Our most recent was awarded in 2023, where we received $500,000. We've pretty much come to the end of that funding. Things are getting a little more expensive to go in and do some of the testing. So we did get through the funding quickly, but that means we're at the threshold where we can apply for another round of funding. So with this grant, the most recent one, we received $500,000. And what this does is it enables Indiana 15 to hire an environmental consultant to go out into the 6-county region and conduct phase 1 and phase 2 environmental assessments on properties that are brought to us to look at. We were able to look at 3 sites in Dubois County. The final cost hasn't come in for the 3rd site yet, but it'll be just around $70,000 that we put into Dubois County for this round of funding. So we are looking at applying again. The application is due at the end of January. And the way this works as a coalition, there's one lead coalition member, which Indiana 15 serves as the lead member, which means we can do assessments in all 6 of our counties. But then the rules call for up to 4 non-lead coalition members. And so we kind of pick and choose counties to serve in that role. This year, we're looking at Crawford, Dubois, Spencer, and Perry County to serve as the non-lead coalition members. We're asking for $700,000 this time around, bumping it up, try to get a few more sites in. But really, all it's doing, we're not asking any financial commitment. Really, the only thing we're asking is the signature on the letter saying that you are willing to sign on as a non-lead coalition member. And then if and when it gets funded, we just ask that you help us find sites throughout the county. So
Do you know how many brownfields are currently identified in DuBois County?
I don't have that number.
The reason I ask is because we're doing a comprehensive plan for the county. One of the things that we did for background study is look at brownfields in the area. And I don't remember if I went to the EPA site or the IDM site. It was one of the two that had information on it. And some of the sites that they had on there, to my knowledge, are already remediated. They were already taken care of, but they're still listed on the site. So I don't know how that all worked. For example, the Jasper Wood Products section, like that's been remediated. It's been torn down. It's now housing. I mean, so this is very old news.
Yeah.
It's still listed on the site. So I didn't know how that worked.
Yeah, usually if they get, site closure, it kind of is that final step where you get the closure and you can do whatever you want at that point, but they still, the records still stay there, for, I don't know how long, but I mean, there's the official listing, and then, there's any sites that come to us, if somebody wants to, you always think of an old gas station, but any site that needs to be redeveloped, those are brought to us then. And, they may end up on the official list if it has to go to the state for approval. Petroleum sites usually do. Sometimes they don't end up in that listing. It's just you do the phase 1 and the phase 2, and they go on with their life. So, but yeah, there's, I'm sure, a pretty good listing.
And again, if something is identified through, say we ask, you get approved for this, we say, hey, can you look at this address? And this guy does a phase 1 and he finds that there's contamination, do phase 2. And so who's responsible for the remediation? Does the state take those over, or does?
It depends. And that's one of the issues with it. Doesn't cover any cleanup activities. Right. So if it's a private property owner, usually we target sites that are already on track for redevelopment of some sort, so that they know what they're facing, so that there's no surprises when they get into it, and they're going to be spending the money anyway. We try to avoid those sites that are just kind of brought to us that this is a problem site. The property owner, maybe they're out of state or whatever. Because you always have to have cooperation from the property owner. So those sites with the absentee landowners, we usually don't target, because if something is found, it is on the property owner to clean up at that point.
So without cooperation, just this very contaminated site will never get looked at?
Through this program, no, because the first step is getting a site access agreement to actually go onto the site and do some of the testing. And if we can't get that from the property owner, then there's nothing we can do.
There's another process probably for non-cooperative people. Yeah. Okay, so Commissioner Hostetter, do you have any issue with signing the letter of support?
Nope.
Okay. I'll move that we sign the letter of support for the EPA Brownfields Assessment Grant.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. So we're good there.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Just give it a second. Let's see if he comes back. There's another letter I received. You want to review that? Did you get that one?
I did. That was the opposite of what I was expecting.
Okay, we can get started with the highway report, Ms. Wilkins. Before you get started, in our solid waste meeting we had before this meeting, we talked about the DuBois site and any work that's going to be done up there to expand either services or use for the highway department. Is there any update on that?
We are still thinking about that. I mean, one of the biggest reasons why Steve wanted to do that is because he wanted to build a building up there to store salt and sand in. And good possibility, we're hoping to need that. Hopefully we won't use all 700 tons this year. We will need to store it somewhere. But as of right now, it's on hold. But yes, and we would like to put a big,
Large item dumpster.
do what?
Large item
A
dumpster.
large item dumpster to put on there, because we have one at Ferdinand. We'd like to put one up on the northeast part of the county. So as of right now, it's on hold, but possibility we may go ahead and do something this year with that. So. Okay, speaking of sanitation sites, holidays, I know I mentioned the last meeting, but Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve both fall on Wednesdays, so they are closed anyway on Wednesdays. But Christmas Day and New Year's Day fall on Thursday, so the sites will be closed on both of those days, Christmas Day and New Year's Day. Inventory item, with your permission, I would like to remove the 2011 Good Road snowplow from inventory and request to use it as parts. And also a 1994 Miller Welder generator, and request to dispose of that. We got a new one here a couple months ago. So like your approval to,
Complete disposal of the welder and just depart out the other.
Yeah.
Commissioner House, are there any issues with that?
No, I think that's fine.
I agree, so just to get it in the record, I'll make a motion to approve removing 2011 snowplow from the inventory so that it can be used for parts and to dispose of the welder generator.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
okay, and 10-ton weight limit, with your approval and signatures, we would like to advertise for the 10-ton weight limit for all county roads in DuBois County from January 15th, 2026 through April 15th of 2026.
Same thing we do every year, right?
Yeah, same thing we do every year.
Same weight, everything?
Yeah, same weight, same everything.
Okay, so this looks like the standard freeze thaw that we always do, so I'm in favor. Do you have an issue with that?
No, I'm in favor as well.
And then,
I'll move that we approve the freeze thaw 10-ton weight limit ordinance.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
and then a few other items. One employee that was off for a few months with his back surgery, he's gonna return to work, I believe, Wednesday, the 17th. Another employee that was off for surgery, he is gonna return to full days, December 26th. And another employee, he is off since Friday, he will be back January 5th. So, have a few of them off the last couple months, so.
So we were that last one. So was there another injury on the job?
No, it was,
Okay.
yeah.
We don't want to give people's health information away publicly. I know.
But no, nothing on the job or anything, so
Got it.
we're all good there. And then, Friday with the snow, I know we only had a couple inches down south, but we had like 5 inches of DuBois area. But it all plowed off good. It was a wet snow, it plowed off real good. We only used 44 tons of, sand and salt mix, so that was pretty good. So it all came off great. Got done quickly. So that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Anything else for?
No, thanks, Don.
Okay, thank you. I'll make it right.
That way you here?
Good morning.
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 So we'll start out with some pretty good news. The county did receive $1 million in community crossing matching grant funds. This was the max amount that NDOT was giving out. So I'm just kind of go over some numbers here. NDOT had 450 applications this round, and the county was one of 191 LPAs that was awarded the funds. So this year, money will cover approximately 80% of the paving costs for Club Road, St. Anthony Road North, and 550 West, which that work is planned to occur between June 2026 through October of 2026. So the plans and all the bidding documents are being prepared right now, and they will be advertised for bid at the end of this year. And we have a letting day scheduled for Tuesday, January 20th, 26. I do want to thank NDOT for choosing to partner with the county over the years to help keep our roads safe and in good condition. And then,
There's a lot of people that wish they were in our position right now.
yes.
And is there I don't remember if you said this, I apologize. Is there an opportunity? Is there gonna be a second round for these people that didn't score, or did they give out all the money?
All the money was given out. The only exception would be if the ones that were awarded, if they don't get certain documents submitted to NDOT by the deadline, which is March 1st to 26, then NDOT will revoke those funds from them and give them to another LPA.
Makes
That's the only chance that they would have.
For the most
Otherwise, they'll have
part,
to
it's
wait.
gone.
For the most part, the full $100 million is gone. They will take that down to zero. So the next round of applications will be in June of 2026.
Okay.
I've got a change order for Community Crossing 2025-01. This is a net decrease in the amount of $602.24. It has been signed by the Highway Department along with the contractor, so I'm requesting the board's approval of that change order. And that wraps up all of Community Crossing for this year, so that will be the last change order for the Community Crossings.
I move the board approves the change order with the net decrease 602.24.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
I have one more change order for paving project 25-05, which is County Road 400 West. This is a net decrease of $11.80. It's been signed by the Highway Department and the contractor, and I'm recommending approval of this change order.
This appears in order for me as well. I'll move that we approve the net decrease of $11.80 for the 400 West project.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Moving along to Bridge 21, I want to give an update on that. This bridge is located along 200 West. The bridge crew's been working on that bridge for several weeks now to replace the beams and deck. That work is complete, with the exception of shoulder stone, but we were able to get the roadway opened up to traffic this past Friday. So we'll get out there sometime this week just to tidy up a few things, get some shoulder stone at it, and then that will be all the work that's needed on that job. Bridge 116 on County Road 820 East. This was initially scheduled to be started this year yet. However, we've made some changes. The weather's played a role, along with that time of the year that we've got several individuals taking PTO with holidays. And so we decided to go ahead and make a schedule change on that. We don't have a date yet, but that will be determined on when that road will be closed.
Good.
And then the Bridge Safety Improvement Project. This is the federal grant application that the county submitted to NDOT on November 19th. This project is to improve 50 to 60 of the bridges in the county as far as the updating the guardrail and treatments. Got some good news from NDOT last week. They have selected this project to present to the scoring committee for further consideration. This is one of those, it's the next step kind of thing. So I've got an interview set up with NDOT on January 6, 2026. And we should find out around the end of January if we will be awarded the funds.
So that's a regular process? I've not heard of us having to present on top of an application, but that happens?
Typically, there's an interview involved. So it goes through the first round where they will select the ones that they want to continue through that process, which does include an interview. Interview doesn't always occur, but sometimes it does, depending on the nature of the project and if they want to have an interview or not.
You do that at Vincennes, Indianapolis, or on the phone?
This one will be a Teams meeting.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Win them over.
The last topic I have is the ADA transition plan agreement. So if you recall, this was discussed a couple months ago on the county needs to update the transition plan. Working with Lockmuller to get that done. But one thing that we haven't done yet is get the agreement in place. So I've been working with Lockmuller on that. The initial cost on the high end was looking at around $45,000, but Lockmuller's has been working with some negotiations with an architect firm, which would be doing the boots on the ground, the site assessments. The price is coming back from the sub is so I do Lockmuller. I sent this to you in your email as well. It's in the amount of $50,000, lump sum amount not to exceed. The council did approve $50,000 for this project. That was on the high end, which we are at that high end. Lockmuller has justified the cost to me. I am okay with it. I've read through that agreement. As far as there's 3 milestones on there. All 3 of those milestones outline the scope of work that Lockmuller will be performing, along with their sub. And I'm good with the work. Our attorney, Greg, has reviewed the legal language. He had a couple revisions on there that Lockmuller has incorporated into the contract. Greg has reviewed it again, and he's good with it. So, yeah, basically this is the plan that ensures the county stays in compliance with ADA requirements to make sure that we can be eligible for state and federal funds. And then this plan will allow the county to focus on identifying and removing barriers simply for those with disabilities to increase accessibility. Not only is it needed, but it's the right thing to do. So it'd be in the cost of $50,000, and I recommend and ask for approval of this contract. And also Laura with Lockmuller is here as well. If you got any questions or if you have anything to say.
I think you covered it.
Okay, so if you got questions, feel free to ask
So
her.
was it originally $40,000 was the top?
35 to 45K was just the off the cuff number without really looking into it more. And then Lockmuller looked into it, and 50K is what it's at now. And the majority of that cost is not on Lockmuller's end, it's on the firm that's going to be doing the on-site assessments. That's where you're getting a lot of your costs involved with the labor, sending people out there to the buildings, into the buildings, identifying the barriers. And it's one of the reasons why we haven't had this agreement in your hands sooner, is because of the back and forth negotiations with Lockmuller.
I can say 2 things real quick. We do have no intention of getting to that number. We understand at the end of the year, we need to keep this moving. Our cost is sitting at like $23,000. So it's literally just the architect trying to get that negotiation with them. If it goes over, it's going to be easy. There will be no other costs on you guys. So that's why we felt this was the high end. We have no intention of getting there, but we just needed to keep it moving for the end of the year.
So their last meeting?
additional appropriations for it. There's an ADA line item for it.
I just don't like that we approved an amount in a public meeting and then the bill ends up coming in at that amount. Right, whenever the council was looking at it at a lower amount, so I guess that's the one thing that it's uncomfortable. And does it matter if we sign it today or we sign it at the next meeting?
So the funds, we'd have to have a signed contract for the funds to be encumbered.
So you've reviewed this in detail. This is gonna cover everything that we need.
Yes, this is covering the full plan, updating our website, making sure policies that need to be in place are in place, because you got the legal side of the ADA requirements as well. So this is the full picture, the full deal. This is updating maps, Excel spreadsheets, the plan, policies, working with our attorney Greg on the grievance policy.
So you, once this is done, you'll be they'll give you a report. You'll be responsible for getting that to NDOT in whatever
Correct.
form that's needed.
Yes. And also, this is a one-time deal to where, once this is done, this will be done in-house. Keep treating this as a living document, where we don't have to spend this money 10 years down the road and be in the same, I don't want to be in the same position.
Seems like it's in order. The only, like I said, price. I don't like the prices go up, but other than that, it seems like it's in order. Do you have any concerns,
No,
comments?
I remember it presenting it the first time. I understand the importance of getting this done, and getting it done in a timely fashion.
We do have a VCAP letter that we submitted with the guardrail improvement federal grant. And that VCAP letter states that plan's not in compliance. We're going to get it into compliance. These are the dates we're going to get it done by. So that's one thing too, that we've got some hard deadlines that we want to make sure we're meeting, just to help get us some federal
Some
funds.
kind of deadline in 27 of the website too. I don't know exactly what date that is, but.
So you mentioned, I guess since we have a representative here too, that they're gonna do something with the website. So how can they do that? Are they gonna tell you what needs to be done and we've gotta do it, or?
They're going to make sure everything on the website, since they can look at that, to make sure it's everything that's there that is required to be there. And then they can work with us to go through and get everything updated.
So Revision's supposed to be doing that too, but doesn't hurt to have another set of eyes on it. Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the agreement for the provision of services for the ADA transition plan.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, thank you for putting that together.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
So Auditor Morton, I don't know if you received this, but I have an email that came in from our 915 from Mrs. Stout that we're going to talk about the Safe Haven opioid fund request. So it sounds like she said that she's not going to be able to get here. She said the road conditions in her area are bad. So I guess that one will be on the agenda. Okay, yeah, that's the.
So we got 30 minutes.
Yes, so we've got several things we can talk about and see how far they go. Okay, first off, I'll say that we have been updated or continuing to work on the comprehensive plan. There were stakeholder meetings last week. That means they got with people that have different interest groups such as public safety, environment, infrastructure, nonprofits. So they met with a number of those groups. We had a meeting with our team on Friday briefly, and they gave us a little bit of an update on that. Some of the main things that were brought up at these issues were sewer, zoning, solar, state's corridor. So the things that are taking up the majority of our time are the things important to the people that were at those meetings as well. So we hope to have a summary of that information in our hands soon. You have any questions on where we're at with that?
Did you know?
So, yeah, still a process moving forward. Is it, I know we don't have the full board here, but is it do you think we should continue to look at zoning as a county, and is that something we should move forward with? We've got somebody in place and there's a big process.
Right.
And having a comprehensive plan is part of that process.
Right.
And we don't have a contract with these people to do that work, but it was offered to us whenever we did the initial selection, that it's an optional add-on. So, I mean, it's something they can do during the process if we think about it.
I know zoning at the commissioner conference was a big thing too, due to the solar issues. Solar seems to be statewide a big issue. It's kind of the talk of the commissioner conference, and they really love the counties with no zoning. So I think it doesn't hurt to explore it at this point. I think with Mid-State Corridor, the solar, it just would be a good time to at least take a look at it.
Maybe you know this, but I believe, was it Gibson County that had solar, or had zoning, and they ditched it?
I spoke with them.
And Davies County, when I spoke to one of their people, they had it and wish they didn't, at least one of the people that I spoke to. So do the Gibson County people have anything that they would like to say?
I think they were still happy to have no zoning. That they passed it and then removed it
How long did they have it in place?
until the next election.
Oh, it was just like a year or something? Couple of years?
2-3 years, yeah.
Well, and again, I think it'd be one thing we say, yeah, we're gonna look at it,
Right.
but there's a cost associated with doing more than just looking at it. So I guess we'll talk about it internally, and we can make a decision in a
I
future
think when we
meeting.
mention it, in our meeting, hopefully we get some phone calls or letters to kind of see how people feel about it. If most of the county's against zoning, then, we pull back from it. But I feel like with the solar especially, the zoning could be helpful in some of those cases.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I
no.
didn't hear you. Could you repeat that? Did you say that most of the county is?
This isn't a discussion
You'll pull
meeting.
back from, I just didn't hear.
You can watch it on video, Mr. McCoy.
Okay, thank you.
So it's something that we'll talk about it internally. If we want to decide to bring on a consultant to help run us through that process, then we can.
Mhm.
Is that kind of where you think we're at?
Yeah, sounds fair.
It's a tough deal. This is what we've talked about since you and I were first elected, because I think you've said it might be a good idea. You said that 8 years ago that it might be a good idea. It's a good idea until it does something that you don't want it to do to you. This is the public.
Right.
If I say I want to build a garage, mega barn on my property, and it's not allowed, or I got permission from somebody to do that,
Mhm.
that's another burden for me as a homeowner that
Right.
I think I'm close enough to the city that I have to go by the city rules anyway myself. But if I was another quarter of a mile away, I could do whatever I wanted, which is nice as a homeowner.
Yeah.
Until my neighbor does something that I don't
As a
like.
homeowner, I'm happy to not have the zoning, but I think, county-wise,
Yeah, it's something we definitely need to look into, but
Yeah.
it's, yeah, so let's leave it at that. Okay, so we have a couple of appointments that we need to do to wrap up our appointments for DuBois County for the year. One of them was for the property tax Board of Appeals. And did you have someone, we had the one person I brought up last time.
Jesse Peters would be interested. He spoke with Angie over the weekend to see what it entailed and gave me a call and said, yes, he would be happy to serve.
Okay.
Length of appointment.
The length of appointment for this person would be 2 years.
2 years.
You have to stagger the ones you have now.
Right. So I believe what we should do for sure is have appoint Brian Smith for the 1-year term, and then we'd have to decide who we want here. I don't have an issue with Mr. Peters. He's been in the real estate business for several years. And you made him aware of what's expected and those kind of things, so.
Yeah, and I had him call Angie too because I wanted to make sure he got it.
Geisler?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
from her because she knows better than I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I would be fine with that, so,
I don't have forms, but I'm gonna call over and get them made once you guys decide.
okay, so, to replace the position of Mr. Pearson, it would be Jesse Peters. And then Mr. Smith would do the 1 year. So, okay, that one, we'll do them one at a time since these are unique. I'll make a motion that we approve Jesse Peters for a 2-year appointment to the Property Tax Board of Appeals.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Next, we have a museum appointment. Peg Wagner, who is a longtime person serving on the board, is unable to continue in that capacity. Did you have anybody?
I don't.
Okay, so-
I saw your email and I'd be okay with that one.
Okay, so we have, I would make a motion that we approve Cheryl Sermison to take that position.
I'll second.
So it looks like this is a 3-year term. So what we need to do, we have a first and a second on this, we'll have to vote on it. But I believe at the previous meeting, we approved Wagner to continue. So I'm gonna rescind that motion just so that we can do these in the proper order. So I'm gonna first make a motion that we remove the appointment of Margaret Wagner from the museum board.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Then I'll move that we appoint Cheryl Sermison for a 3-year term to the museum board.
I will second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. So I believe I'm gonna revisit I do think one thing that we need to discuss is Dr. Walford is he's with the health department. He's the doctor in charge of the health department. I believe what we said previously was the health board probably is, I believe by law, are the ones that are supposed to appoint him. But I think just for the record, if we want to say that we support that appointment, just so that it's in the record, because there was a little ambiguity of that. So I'll say Dr. Ted Walford, I'll make a motion that we approve or support him being the local health officer.
I will second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries.
Did you do Brian Smith?
I'll move that Brian Smith do 1 year on the Property Tax Board of Appeals.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Good. So we have the appointments for the year finished, and again, I want to thank all the community members that are willing to step up to do that.
We rescinded Margaret Wagner
Yes,
and appointed Cheryl.
yes.
You guys talk faster than I'm talking.
We'll give you a second to catch up, and then we'll do the clerk agreement.
And hers is a 3-year term.
So in here. I just caught that. So we'll need that one written down.
I'll have her redo that.
Yes, the museum is 3 years.
And Dr. Waffler is how many years?
I don't remember. It says a 4-year term for the board members. I would put down just whatever's allowed by statute. When you're caught up, if you,
And correct.
okay, we have the clerk, 4D cooperative agreement. Do you have anything to say about that one?
I don't. I think it's an annual thing that we have to share with the state. Office, so I don't have a lot of information.
Okay, yes, the Federal Child Support Enforcement Program Grant, CFDA number 93.563. And this is an agreement entered into between the clerk of our DuBois County Circuit Court and the Indiana Department of Child Services. It's mutual assistance in the area of child support. So I would make a motion that we allow the clerk to sign this document on behalf of the county.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. So that one is good for the clerk to sign. We have a GIS limited use agreement entered into between Tyler Technologies and DuBois County, Indiana. We just share of that information with them, and we have to have an agreement in place to do so. So I'll make a motion that we approve the agreement between DuBois County and Tyler Technologies.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
There was just one there, right?
Yes. So several times over the last couple of months, we've had discussions about e-recording and a couple of the different changes that they're doing within the recorder's office. So I think this is just formalizing some of that. This is
This
with,
is adding another business to be able to do it to the recorder.
just gives one other option for the public
Yeah,
to
this
do.
other company, EPN or whatever, is another company that can send her stuff.
The e-recording partners network.
The deeds are still coming through Simplifile. This may be other releases or mortgages.
So EPN is one of the 4 separate e-recording companies with our county. So I'll move that we approve the recorder to sign the document on behalf of the county.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about was, there's some part-time corrections officers with community corrections. We wanted to have a discussion about that. So we have somebody that is an employee, tell me if I'm wrong here, that's off on a military absence. And the job is held for that person until their military services is finished. When they come back, give them their position or a like position. But while they're out, we still need someone to do that work. So I think we have, there's a need. We think that our best option is to do 2 part-time community corrections officers. So they'll be temporary full-time people for
Temporary part-time.
Oh, what did I say? Well, here it says temporary.
We have one full-time, and they either wanted one temporary full-time or two temporary part-times.
So at this point, we're going to approve 2 part-time.
Yes.
So it's kind of a temporary creation of the positions.
All right.
So I'm okay with that. We have to have continuity of business. So you have any issues with that?
No, I sure don't.
I'll move that we approve the 2 part-time community corrections officers on a temporary basis.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay. And Commissioner Oster, you went to the county commissioners conference last week. Is there anything you want to share about?
No, just like I said earlier, the main talk up there, I feel like was solar, and either ordinances or zoning to help kind of control how the solar goes out in your county. And it seemed like that was north to south, the biggest issue was solar that we talked about.
What were their biggest concerns? Just the same concerns that we're hearing here?
Same as here, just it's kind of Wild West right now. They kind of go where they want to go, and just want to have some guardrails in place to protect people. And setbacks were discussed, and just I had some conversations with other counties on how they approached it. There was one county with 2,500 foot setbacks, which if you think about it, you need a mile to make that work. I think that's a little extreme, but it was just different ideas on how to help it. Not necessarily to try to keep it out of your county, but to just create the guardrails to hopefully keep everybody happy.
Safe and happy,
Right.
as much as possible.
Right.
Where we're at, property taxes and funding, was that an issue that came up?
Yes, I do not have that notebook with me, so I'm not prepared to talk about it.
So I assume with the legislators coming in early, they're getting done a little early. And we only heard about one issue so far, or that's all I really heard much about, but I guess they're gonna have a full slate like they usually do. They were talking about the redistricting first. So, okay, so that's good. So at the last meeting, we did talk about having people come and present to us if they wanted opioid matching dollars. So as I mentioned earlier, Safe Haven was supposed to be here at 9:15. They're not going to be here. Mind, Body, and Soul, I asked them to come. They said they would come in a future meeting. And we had another local person want to know how that process would work. So I gave them that information this weekend. So we will probably have more people coming forward asking for that. I wanted to mention this too. Again, this is something as a county, we need to take consideration. It's the RDA. We've received a letter, then anyway, it's just something we're gonna have to take action on as a county. So I don't know if it's gonna, I believe the final answer will have to come from the county council because they're the body that officially created we supported it as the commissioners. They officially joined. So according to this person's letter, I think somebody in attendance is going to talk about it further during the public comment section. The letter that we received basically states that this person believes that the reason that it was created, that duty is not completed. And this person was worried that the powers granted by the state to these development authorities is vast, and it was their position that we should withdraw from the RDA. This is their belief. They believe that keeping it active now creates risk for the county, and it talks about what we would do if we withdrew. So these are things that we've been looking at already. And it says here that, I think this is a fair comment. This is the one I wanted to talk about. It says the public has every right to expect the RDA to make a clear case for its continued existence and to build public support if believe renewal is warranted. So I think that's fair, right? We need to make sure there's still a point, that it still has a point to a reason to exist. And yeah, so that's just something we need to continue to look at. I'm a mixed opinion on it. On one hand, if the road is coming through like the state says it is, then having the RDA involved helps us as a county in some ways, us as county government, because they do some of the work that, for example, for raising funds, if they want to raise funds and they'll pay for it, then that would be one thing that they could do. Because I know that the county hasn't had an appetite to put any money into it.
Right.
So I don't know. I think it's an ongoing thing, but I do think that was a good comment. The RDA, if they can justify their continued existence, that needs to be brought up. And if they can't, we'll consider that too. You have any comments on that? I don't know.
I don't. I'm kind of a mixed bag like you.
Just something worth continued attention. Okay, we next with the sewer district is still an ongoing topic. So what we like to do, and I believe County Council, do you want to talk about County Councilperson Lewis is here, and maybe you want to give a summary of kind of what we're looking at today.
Sure, I'm happy to do that. Good morning again. And my name is Dana Lewis with the Du Bois County Council. I'm also on the Du Bois County Regional Sewer District. And we've been in discussion for a long time. The sewer project has been going on for about 5 years, to my understanding. And what you have in front of you is a legal services agreement that would enable the county to assist the regional sewer district into accepting more responsibility over the Hayesville Sewer Project. The contract was negotiated with several members. Commissioner Blessinger, Council President Kleesner, our county attorney, had a hand in that as well as myself. So the terms of the contract has a cap of not to exceed $45,000 in its beginnings. The contract does run in total from January 1st of 2026 until May 31st of 2027. Either party has the option to cancel at any time, and the initial funds would help the RDA, or I'm sorry, the RSD, get that correct, to become current on the project and where it stands, and assist the county in that nature.
So we had a Teams meeting, I guess, with these folks, talked to them. And my summary of it is they will help. This isn't supposed to be a Du Bois County government entity. It's going to be a regional sewer district, which will be its own standalone entity at some point. Right now, the county has been behind it. We've been to push for it because we see the need, we see the health ramifications of not having county or any kind of sewer in parts of our county. And so it's an important issue. The people have said it in the comprehensive plan. We've seen it for many years. The health things that have come back aren't positive. So it's just something that needs to get done. And the two things I see them doing is getting us ordered, in order. We have a regional sewer district board, but they will get it to the next step. Again, taking more control and more ownership of what they're doing. And the second part there will be an advocate for us to help us find funds to pay for it.
Correct.
Because if we can't get our board together, this thing doesn't go anywhere. If we don't have the money to do it, it doesn't go anywhere. And these are two areas that these folks will help us with. Initially, they had asked for a larger amount of money on the top end over a longer period of time, but I think this was we want to get our feet wet, make sure we feel comfortable with them like we think we will, and get it moving.
Correct.
Does that sound accurate?
That's accurate.
Okay. So I'm in favor of moving forward with it. Do you have any questions or comments on it?
No, I read through it yesterday and spoke with Ms. Lewis about it and would agree. Hopefully this gets us to that next step we need to get to with the sewer district and ultimately gets it to fruition.
Okay. That being the case, we can't sign the document today because we don't have money for it, but we can approve it pending a county council funding it. So I'll make a motion that we approve this and approve signing it pending county council funding.
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you for your work on that.
Thank you. Sandy, you need a copy of that. I have it.
And did they change the terms to 45 days? I don't remember that.
Yes,
They did do that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I just see?
This is the,
Yeah, I
Draft.
just want to write down the. I didn't remember their name.
I think, I'm gonna grab a drink and then we'll get with Mr. Rhodes. "45 years, I just got all this stuff." So the floor version, we got it by All right, let's come back to order. Mr. Rhodes, you're here to talk about wellness coordinator fees.
Get everybody pack it here, we'll dissect this.
All right, so I didn't expect to be here in this process with benefits in the middle of December, but last week I was informed by Deaconess that they were going to increase their on-site wellness platform pretty substantial. So if I want to get this in front of the board so we can have the discussion, see if that's still what direction we want to go for 26, or if we want to, dissolve that program.
So again, this is the health educator that our employees meet with on a monthly basis,
Yes.
or at least quarterly.
Yes.
I mean, so generally, most employees meet with them quarterly.
Yep. Turn the wellness discount. So
And
it's one component of the wellness plan.
yes,
Sure. So the contract, the new contract's here on the front. I'm just going to work through this. If you go down about halfway, you'll see they are doing a mileage fee, which we'll dive deep into that here in a little bit. 70 cents per mile. Not a big impact there, but where the impact is on that on-site wellness program, $57.50 per hour. So if you guys want to flip to page 2 on that, where you got some blues and some reds on that page. So this is just the background. So the county's been partnering with Memorial Hospital for their wellness component for several years. Memorial's had 3 tiers to choose from. We were in the core plan, okay? So with the transition to Deaconess, they're going to a 1-tier system. So again, this is those quarterly wellness goal check requirements that we're talking about here to earn the wellness discount. So the previous charge was $40 per hour. So again, we're going to $57.50 per hour. That's a big increase in cost. So December 10th, Deaconess informed of that substantial increase for our wellness platform. So cost again $57.50 per hour versus our current $40 per hour. Mileage fee 70 cents per mile for the travel outside of Jasper, which is really going to, for the impact, only incorporate the park department on a quarterly basis. So if you look on the left side, that's that cost comparison for 2025. Of course, mileage cost is 0. They didn't have that. And then our annual cost is coming in roughly $11,108 in 2025. In 2026, on the right side of that page, that would be our annual cost of being $15,967.75 projected, as well as $56 in mileage fees. So down there toward the bottom, I've got it where our 2026 increase would estimate just shy of $5,000. So any questions on that?
Nope, not yet.
Okay.
Okay, so you said you want to move to the options then?
Yeah, unless you guys got questions.
I don't have any questions yet.
And I threw in an option 1 and option 2. If you guys think of something else, by all means, it's definitely something we can discuss. But I'm just going to go through what I've come up with. So option 1, we continue as planned. We signed a new agreement, which is going to cost us $5,000 more, which is, again, substantial. I mean, that's now I did talk to Lindsay this morning, so I told her I was going to be transparent and bring this over here, for you guys to look at. And she said with this new tier, we would get monthly programming. So like lunch and learns or challenges and stuff like that. We used to have that in the past. It wasn't real successful with our employee group. So that's why we backed down to the core for the $40 an hour. That's where we were at. So. And then option number 2, remove the quarterly wellness coaching requirement for employees in 2026. We would have to inform Deaconess Memorial that the county would no longer be utilizing this platform in writing. I would have to communicate those changes to employees. And then, of course, the bad part here, I would be then assuming all the wellness, non-wellness reporting and tracking and all that. We would reprint benefit guides, and then, of course, look at our options for 2027 at this point. So, like I said, I thought we had this all shored up. This kind of come out of the middle of nowhere at the end of December. They were doing this with their fee structure, and I think if it was a fair, what I would call a fair agreement, we probably wouldn't be here today. But $17.50 an hour, that's substantial.
So Commissioner Stefano, I asked her if she had any comments for today, and she said that she didn't think we needed the health educator any longer. And I said, my response was, well, we discussed this 3 months ago, and I said Commissioner Hostetter was opposed to continuing with that, and you and I voted in favor of it. So I don't know if she's 100%, maybe she is 100% clear about what it is, but I wanted to make sure that she was before we get a kaput here. I mean, can we sign this the first meeting in January if we decide to move forward with it? Or do you think it needs to be done, I mean, for yours, for the benefits?
Well, yeah, we probably need to, obviously the sooner the better. Communicate to employees too, because,
So one of your big concerns was having somebody to track those.
Yeah, it will be, something else to put on, obviously my plate to manage, which will not be ideal, but, at the same time, $17.50 an hour is nowhere close to being ideal either on an increase, so,
Well, the other problem is if I vote to keep it, you vote against it, then we're still stuck where we are. And that doesn't get us anywhere. Not saying that would happen necessarily, but, so do you have what would your opinion be for us?
well, whenever I came here, a couple months ago when we were discussing this, when I came here to the county, going on 6 years ago, I feel like we've moved the wellness program, we've moved premiums, deductibles out, and I feel like we're expanding the wellness program, which I think is important, instead of, I don't want to make it easy or not relevant being wellness versus non-wellness. I think it needs to be meaningful, and I think we were getting that direction. However, with this new fee structure, I just can't get behind that. Me personally, I can't come to the board and say, hey, this is a great thing, let's continue on, just because we're not getting a whole lot more for our $17.50 per hour. That's my biggest.
So if we have these lunch and learns and these events, do they cover the cost of those?
They would.
Other than, so if we have 20 employees that come, they'll feed 20 employees?
Well, they wouldn't do the food. They would
So
just
we
do the
would still be
presentation.
on for that. They
Sure.
just
Yeah.
bring the educator.
Yes.
The educator would say, here's a healthier way to prepare your meals so you
Yeah.
are heart healthy or something on those lines.
And we do still have the lunch and learns for 2026. That was something we incorporated, but that we're doing that as a county, not independent from Memorial's programming. So, like the water challenges and step challenges, they did stuff like that in the past for us, where you do your tracking and stuff. So.
You're saying you don't want us to get behind it?
I can't come to the board and say I 100% support it just because of the substantial increase. I mean, I've as you guys know, some different partners that's been with me before. I beat them up on different increases before, and we've been flat, or they came back with a lower end proposal. So I just can't get behind the cost of this. So.
Well, I didn't feel like we were getting our value out of it at the previous cost, so, I mean, I can't get behind this.
I thought our cost was $30,000 total that we were paying them for.
Well, now that it was counting the health screens.
Okay.
This is backing that out because we're still doing that regardless, because now we're partnering with the
Right.
clinic for that. So we're shifting that cost. But the cost that I gave you was solely just for the wellness goals cost.
So we either sign this or we lose that relationship.
Yeah, and then for 2026, our wellness requirement would be the health screen and achieving 3 of 5 of the screening standards, or doing reasonable alternatives. And then, of course, if the spouse is on the plan, they would have that same requirement.
What I hate about it is, again, it's going to make you have a new role on top of what
Yeah,
you're already doing.
Yeah, that's going to be a.
And if we give you so many roles that we have to hire a new person, I'm not going to like that either at some point.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing I don't like about it.
Yeah.
So, but if you're saying you can't get behind it, is this going to be manageable for you to take on that portion of it?
Well, I mean, it's going to have to be, because there's nobody else to give it to. So I just that, yeah, like I said, if we were talking $2 or $3 an hour, an increase, okay, we can deal with that. We can do some negotiating, but that's just a huge pill to swallow on that cost. I just
Modify our wellness for this year to remove the quarterlies.
yeah, that's what essentially, if we do not continue that, that's what it would be. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, we would just have to do that.
So everybody that got the screen would be considered, the screen and met the requirements would be considered wellness for 26.
Well, that's already done. That happened with open enrollment. Yeah, you had to do the quarterly wellness goal checks
plus the health screen, plus me
Gotcha.
3 to 5 for in 2025 to qualify in 2026. So
Okay.
what we would be doing in 2026, if we didn't do this anymore, would just be doing the health screen and achieving 3 to 5. And if you cover your spouse on there too, they would have to do the screen, meet 3 to 5. Then you would qualify wellness for 2027.
Okay.
Through that way.
So you think,
That's the way I
Happy
think
to-
we should be doing it anyways, so.
so you'd be happy to, so I guess that would be our, I guess we can take we don't even have to take a vote, because if we're not gonna do it,
Yeah,
I mean, there's no action that needs to be taken if we're not gonna vote in favor of it. Because I don't even know if I feel like I'm in favor of it. If you're not in favor of it, and you're not in favor of it, I think there's some benefits to it, like we've talked about, but
Yeah, I had, again, your return on investment and bang for the buck. I felt like it was there prior to what we were doing, and I felt like we were turning that curve, but that's just a substantial increase, and I just can't, I just don't feel like I
I guess just to get something in the record, you wanna make a motion that we, don't move forward with this? Usually a motion is for a positive action, not a non-action, but
Well, would you have to rescind that requirement on the employees?
yeah, we'll have to make a change to the wellness program.
Yeah.
So let's just do this. I'll move that we agree to not sign the new agreement with Deaconess Wellness Solutions, and that we modify the wellness plan to not include the quarterly business with the health educator. Does that sound like that wraps it up?
That does wrap it up.
I'll second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
And then, the letter in writing to Deaconess, do you want me to take care of that and sign that, or do you guys feel like you want to sign it, or some sort of?
We've approved it here, so if you sign it saying we're not going to continue, then I'm fine with you just saying
Okay.
that.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, public letter here, and I'm only reading this because I usually don't read all of the letters that we get. Anybody that's in the hallway, you're welcome to come sit here. There's a couple more chairs. Somebody wants them. All right, so anyway, what I want to do is, I'm reading this letter in particular because 100% of the comments that we've received in the meeting about the solar projects in the county have been opposed. And I've received a couple pieces of public comment from other people, and this is just one of them that said that they feel like that they say they don't want the commissioners to be bullied into ignoring the benefits of solar, and that basically they're just saying that they're in favor of the solar, and just to.
They also mentioned concerns about the battery stuff.
Despite this misinformation being spread by a few ideologues, solar is still effective, inexpensive, and non-polluting. I understand wanting more info on the battery project, especially in emergency planning, but please don't dismiss it because of a vocal minority. So again, I'm not here to start fights with anybody. There were a couple people that said that they were in favor of it.
Do you know the background of that person? Did they have any engineering experience?
This isn't a discussion.
Yeah, gotcha.
Thank you. Okay, it's 9:45, so the next item on the agenda is ordinance 2025-16, an ordinance establishing a temporary strategic moratorium on applications for commercial solar energy systems. So, worked with Mr. Schneier and through some information we've gotten from the public and some of the concerns people have. And so this is a moratorium. So this is something we've been talking about over the last couple meetings. So I guess because the people in the public haven't had a chance, and I'm sure they're interested in it, I suppose I'll just go ahead and read it
Yeah.
so that everybody has an opportunity to hear what it says.
You can probably skip some of the whereases, but
So this is an ordinance establishing a temporary strategic moratorium on applications for commercial solar energy systems in DuBois County, Indiana. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of DuBois County, as the executive and legislative body of the DuBois County, has the authority to adopt ordinances relating to the administration of DuBois County government. Whereas on the 5th day of July, 2022, yeah, I guess I can skip that. Those
I would
portions.
skip to the now, therefore it be ordained.
In short, it just says that we've been talking about this in public meetings, that we have a comprehensive plan going, that we're looking at some of these items, and that we've had numerous requests from the public concerning the needs for a moratorium. And that I'll start here. Whereas the Board of Commissioners shall develop a technical review committee to review and consider recommendation of amendments to DuBois County's current solar energy regulations. Whereas the DuBois County Board of Commissioners believes a strategic moratorium on the processing of applications or approval of permits related to the development of commercial solar energy systems within the unincorporated areas of DuBois County is necessary to ensure DuBois County's regulations align with strategic development of unincorporated areas of DuBois County and align with best practices associated with commercial solar energy systems, installations, their construction, maintenance, and decommissioning. And now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Commissioners of DuBois County, Indiana, that a moratorium shall be enacted within DuBois County, Indiana, commencing on the date of this ordinance for the filing, processing, review, or acceptance of all applications related to commercial or large scale solar energy systems. And two, said strategic moratorium shall remain in place until December 15th, 2026 at noon, or until the DuBois County ordinance establishing and adopting default standards for commercial solar energy systems is amended, or a new ordinance is adopted to reflect the aforementioned considerations, or the moratorium is repealed by the Board of Commissioners, whichever occurs first, unless otherwise extended by subsequent ordinance. Number 3, the moratorium shall not apply to projects that have obtained valid permits for construction of commercial solar energy system from DuBois County, Indiana, acting by and through its Board of Commissioners prior to the effective date of this ordinance. And 4, any prior ordinances that conflict with this ordinance are repealed and replaced. And 5, if any portion of the ordinance is determined to be unconstitutional or in violation of state law by a court of competent jurisdiction, the remaining portions of this ordinance shall continue in full force and effect, and it will become effective upon adoption and publication as required by law. So we have a couple options here. We can accept it as it is. We can vote on it and put it in place today. We can take it under advisement and approve it at the next meeting when we have the full board here. One thing that's bad about doing an ordinance, on the reading it one time, approving it that time, you don't get the opportunity for public comment necessarily. The bad thing about doing it is that it holds it off for, it leaves that window open again for another, until such time as it's adopted. So, I don't know, do you have any thoughts on it?
I believe I'd be comfortable to pass it today due to the fact that we've had a lot of discussion about this over the past several meetings. I think I would be okay to move forward with it as is.
Okay. Give me one more moment, because I want to check one more
I'm
piece of information.
concerned, since Teresa is not here, if it's unanimous, if you can do that. And Greg's not here to ask.
You're saying to approve an ordinance under a single,
If it's unanimous, I thought you can do it in the first reading, but if it's not, I thought you had to have another one reading, but I'm not sure. I just want to do it right.
right?
Well, I guess if we pass it here today and it's clearly not unanimous, and Greg says we can't, and we get an application between now and then that's fine. And if we do get an application between now and then, and Greg says that it does not have to be unanimous, then that application would be
You're saying pass it. If we shouldn't have passed it, then we pass it at the next meeting.
correct.
And again, with this ordinance, if we do become aware of additional information, if we come up with things, ordinances can be amended and things can be changed in the future as well. Okay. All right, well, I guess we have ordinance number 2025-16, an ordinance establishing the temporary moratorium. Do you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I move that we pass ordinance number 2025-16, an ordinance establishing a temporary strategic moratorium on applications for commercial solar energy systems in Du Bois County, Indiana.
I'll second the motion. Is there any other discussion?
No, none.
Okay, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And gentlemen, there are seats there. You're welcome to take them. Phil. There's that. Is there anything else from the highway department today?
Not here.
County auditor? Anything with the matrix and everything there?
Well, we can't really pass it out on money, but I wanted to bring you guys aware of it. The state of Indiana is not going to support the hardware for the VPN connection with the child support. And I'm working with Amy to see if we can use incentive money. Right, and then they will do this. But I want to make you aware.
Same thing that you got an email.
That's, yeah, it's exactly what I emailed you. The other thing I wanted to tell you about is we are switching financial software. We met with them last week. We got our data. We're hoping to do test runs in January and in March, and then go live by April, so we are working on it.
Okay.
It's gonna be a lot of changes. People get prepared.
What an exciting final year.
I guess.
All right. Commissioner Hofstadter?
I have nothing additional.
Okay, we will open the meeting for public comments. Anybody that would like to speak has 3 minutes to do so. Come on up, sir.
Yeah.
I read it online, but I'd like to follow along, so it's.
I have a copy of it here, yes.
I don't. Thank you. Yes, I will give them.
Should I leave them for Suri?
Sure. Leave it for
Yes.
Thank you.
Actually, I think I emailed it to her, but yeah, that way she has it.
Thank you. Mark Notarski, resident of Du Bois County, also a member of the Coalition Against the Mid-States Corridor and the Property Rights Alliance. And I've been asked to read the letter that was submitted to the Du Bois County Commissioners and the Du Bois County Council on behalf of the Property Rights Alliance and the Coalition Against the Mid-States Corridor. So as Brad was a volunteer to send the email, it's obviously representative of the whole group. So this is in regards to the county withdrawal from the Mid-States Corridor Regional Development Authority. Council members and commissioners, we begin by expressing our appreciation for your service to Du Bois County and for the steady, deliberative leadership you have shown. The prosperity and stability of our community enjoy today are the results of the decisions made by leaders like you over the past decades, often in challenging circumstances and without the certainty that hindsight provides. The choice to join the Mid-States Corridor Regional Development Authority, RDA, in 2017 was one of those decisions. In a moment of uncertainty about the Mid-States Corridor project and the need for local participation in Tier 1 environmental study, forming and joining the RDA was a reasonable step grounded in best intentions and the desire to protect Du Bois County's interests. We offer this letter in the same spirit of cooperation and trust. Our aim is not to revisit past choices or cast doubt on the judgments of those who made them. Instead, we hope to support you in making the best possible decision for Du Bois County today with the information now available and with the clear priorities of your constituents in mind. The function the RDA was created to support has been fulfilled. Tier 1 is complete, and the state now carries full responsibility for Tier 2. What remains is a regional development authority with unusually broad statutory powers, but no defined project, no current mandate, and a record of inconsistent public accountability. The primary concern before you is not about the transportation. It is about governance, fiscal responsibility, and the long-term well-being of DuBois County. Indiana Code 36-7.6 grants expansive powers to regional development authorities. These include ability to finance and assist in the study of the regional transportation and economic development initiatives, to acquire, hold, and convey interest in real and personal property, and to lease or purchase facilities connected to these initiatives. The statute also authorized the Regional Development Authority to issue bonds, makes loans and grants to units of government, and enter joint agreements with public and private entities. With approval from the appropriate legislative body, a regional development authority may also exercise eminent domain. These are far-reaching tools appropriate only for a highly active, transparent, and accountable public authority with a clear mandate and strong public confidence. Is that my 3 minutes?
I'll let you continue, because otherwise you'd hand it to someone else to finish.
Thank you. I was going to do that. The Mid-States Court, or RDA, no longer has such a mandate. Over the years, residents have struggled to find timely minutes, complete reports, or a clear public explanation of the RDA's work. Statutes require regional development authorities to maintain a strategic development plan with detailed budgets, project timelines, projected subsidies, estimated returns, and anticipated matching funds. In practice, these obligations have not been met in a way that gives the public a clear understanding of the RDA's direction or intentions. Minutes have often been delayed or unavailable. Public information about ongoing plans have been inconsistent, and the RDA has not adequately advised its member government on the statutory requirements governing renewal or withdrawal at the end of the 8-year membership term. When authority is this broad and oversight is this limited, the RDA could overshadow the control of our local governments normally exercise over development. DuBois County is navigating the same fiscal pressures facing counties across Indiana. Costs for essential services continue to rise. Road maintenance demands, reliable annual investment, and local governments must constantly balance limited resources against growing expectations from residents. In this environment, every public entity must contribute clear value, operate with transparency, and justify its continued existence. The RDA no longer meets that standard. It has no active project, no defined role, and no demonstrated need. Maintaining membership in an authority with broad statutory powers but no mandate adds risk at a time when the county's focus must remain on the core responsibilities that directly serve residents. Against this backdrop, every major fiscal decision is crucial. Maintaining safe and reliable local roads is one of the most visible and essential responsibilities of county government, yet it is also one of the most resource intensive. Local officials in Jasper have indicated that the city is able to rebuild only about 1 mile of roadway each year, even though roughly 8 miles would be needed to maintain a healthy 15-year cycle. While conditions vary from place to place, it is clear that DuBois County faces similar pressures in balancing limited transportation funds with the miles of roadways that require regular attention. These decisions are made in good faith and with the best available information, but the fiscal restraints are real and persistent. The RDA's purpose has been completed. Keeping it active now only creates risks for DuBois County. Its legal structure reinforces that conclusion, although Jasper and Huntingburg adopted ordinances acknowledging their participation in the RDA. Their membership exists because DuBois County joined. Indiana Code 36-7.6-2-3 provides that when a county becomes a member of the Regional Development Authority, every qualified city in that county automatically becomes member by operation of statute. Their ordinances reflected this reality but did not create independent membership. Indiana Code 36-7.6-2-5 requires each member to serve a minimum 8-year term, after which it must adopt an ordinance either renewing its membership or withdrawing from the authority. Under the same statute, the cities cannot withdraw unless the county withdraws, because the statute ties their membership to the county's decision at the end of each term. The practical effort is unavoidable. If DuBois County does not withdraw, Jasper and Huntingburg remain legally bound to the RDA. At a moment when the authority has no remaining mandate, the public has every right to expect the RDA to make a clear case for its continued existence, to explain the statutory options available to its members, and to actively build public support if it believed renewal was warranted. None of that took place. There was no attempt to secure a new public mandate or to communicate openly about the decisions facing member governments. As a result, residents and local institutions were left without clarity the statute envisioned. The responsibility now rests with the county to bring the matter to a straightforward conclusion. We believe it is in the best interest of DuBois County for the commissioners to bring this chapter to a close and restore full control of regional development decisions to the county's elected leaders. Indiana Code 36-7.6-2-5 provides a clear and direct path for withdrawal. The steps are straightforward. Adopt an ordinance stating that the county is withdrawing its membership in the Regional Development Authority. Provide formal written notice of the withdrawal to the Regional Development Authority. The Regional Development Authority provides notice to the Indiana Economic Development Corporation promptly in writing. Once these steps are completed, the county's withdrawal is formally established under the statute. Withdrawing now brings clarity, protects local authority, and ensures that development decisions remain in the hands of the officials elected to make them. The votes of DuBois County will recognize leadership that protects local control, guards county finances, and stands with the overwhelming sentiment of the community. We urge you to adopt the necessary ordinance and complete the process of withdrawal without delay, and sincerely signed by somewhere around 60 people here. And I thank you for the extra time.
Yes, sir.
To present it.
Great, thank you.
I'll try to be short. Part of mine is a
Will you just
comment.
say who you are again?
Oh, Melanie Garrett, sorry. On the RDA, I do believe it does need to have a mandate and projects because it was temporary. Their project is done, tier 1 is done. I did sign this letter as a person, not as a council member, because I do believe they shouldn't have that much power, because the town can't withdraw if the county doesn't withdraw. And it is organized by the business people. We don't have a lot of business people, but those that we do, I don't think this serves us. It's best to stay in this. And I don't really believe they should have eminent domain. That's a big power for one area to have over all of the towns. We can't afford the roads. We can't afford what the towns and cities have to pay. Well, we'll be forced to, and I don't think that's good for us. Also, I have a comment on the regional sewer district. I'm not against it, but as I call it, sewer highway. When it comes in, the problem is, are they going to be forced, everybody that has a sewer system, a septic system, to add on? If they are not forced to, it doesn't do as much good as we would like it to do. And I also will say that some of the towns that have working systems, as in Holland, but on the verge of being completely full, we're not allowed to be represented on the regional sewer board because we have a working system, although it is stressed. And I think some of that we should have a comment on also, because we would have looked into it and been on board, but the cost is enormous. But we can't expand because we're already on an early warning ban. So we don't have a comment in this, and we don't have a dog in this fight, but I think we should. So that's just a comment on the sewer highway. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Jason McCoy, Martin County resident, but own commercial real estate here in Jasper, pay taxes on it, so I hope that makes me one of your constituents, in principle, if not, actually, as a voter. Most of you know I'm a right-wing conservative Republican. I voted for Trump. I was convinced, and still am, that the 2020 election was stolen from him, okay? And I ran it on about it until the Supreme Court said, no, we're not going to talk about it anymore. We're going to end it. Biden's our president. And then I never spoke of it again. Because above all other things, we have to have order. We have to have order, and we rely on the judges to help give us that, and our legislators to make these laws. I think what's best for our country is for Republicans to have control of everything. I mean, that's just how I feel. I think that's what's best for our state and best for our country. But I will mirror former Governor Mitch Daniels' sentiment that we can't have that, not like this, not by redistricting in the middle of a time when we're not supposed to. The Indiana State Constitution's clear. That's not permitted, so we don't do it. No matter how much I would like that, right? He said, I would love for that, but not like that. And I feel the same way. David Brooks, the conservative columnist from the New York Times, wrote yesterday that the Indiana senators who stopped and voted against redistricting will be remembered fondly by history. And I believe that they will, right? I wish Cerise was here too, because I want you guys to think about how you're going to feel after you've voted to get rid of this RDA. How are you going to feel inside when you see the appreciation and the respect and the admiration of 40,000 of the Du Bois County residents who will have undying gratitude and appreciation for you guys standing up and doing the right thing? You to think about how you're going to feel about having that appreciation and respect and admiration from these people. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Dave Duncan, lifelong Du Bois County resident, second time speaker. So, I just had a few points I want to go real quick. First of all, I appreciate your putting the moratorium in, which makes common sense, considering that we possibly have 3 solar fields in Du Bois County now, Crossline, Duff, and now we're learning about Shamrock, which is North Ireland by RWE. A couple things I want to say, and you alluded to it earlier, that safety is primary goal of any level of government, right? Safety of its citizens, and I think I applaud you for putting a moratorium in and starting a committee that hopefully will get technical expertise on that committee to guide you a little bit better than we had in the past. Like I said, I mentioned there's one in Duff already. There's possible one in south of Huntingburg, Crossline, and then there's a potential one north of Ireland, which is Shamrock. During the Holland public meeting, town board meeting the other day, AES mentioned they've never had a battery energy storage system failure. They've had 6 in 2019, according to the Electrical Power Research Institute. There's a database they have on that. Now, I think what they mean is, they state it this way: I haven't had failures in X number of gigawatt hours, which is probably true. If I wreck my car today and drive another 10,000 miles after that, I can say I haven't wrecked in 10,000 miles. So it's relative to numbers, how the numbers work. It's percentages of numbers, right? So anyway, one thing I mentioned the other night at the Holland Town Board was the battery energy storage systems don't have to be in Du Bois County. They're batteries. They can be charged anywhere. They can be at Petersburg Power Plant. They can be at the Harding Street Power Plant in Indianapolis, where they have 24/7 coverage, people on site all the time, and any contaminated runoff would be on their property, not county property. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bob Pfister, good morning.
Good morning.
If you guys, if we as the people let the RDA continue, what is to stop them from other projects where the people will have no voice? Thank you.
Thank you.
John Kaltmacher, DuBois County resident. I'm going to talk as a council member today. Thank you guys for passing that moratorium. That's one more step to what we were hoping to see, these batteries come out of DuBois County. And that's what we have. We don't care if we have solar. What we care about is these batteries that have a possibility of having some issues and harming our citizens, our little kids and things like that. Okay, that's our concern. You know, solar is one thing. It's a stepping stone till they get the gas power plants and these nuclear reactors up online. That's going to happen. That's just it. But this is a stepping stone. During our town board meeting, that's what they said. This is a stepping stone. So I've had what my personal belief in solar is. That doesn't mean anything. But as somebody who cares about our county, I worry about these batteries. And I think that we're doing the right thing by going forward. And hopefully we can continue on doing the possibility of zoning. You know, we're not an HOA. We're not telling people we can't have a 5-car garage. What we're saying is, and what we should say is, when it comes to our DuBois County residents, safety first. And as an elected official, whether it's you or me, that's the number one thing, safety first. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Randy Barlow. I'm at ground zero of the batteries. Mike Wellman, that's when BP owned it. He made the comment that there's only going to be 4 batteries at the site, and the substation was going to be on solar panel lease ground. When AES got it, they made CenterPoint move their substation up the hill from where the batteries are supposed to be. And I talked to Calvin Tisdale of AES in mid-October, and I asked him how many batteries are going to be there, and he said 4 batteries. Then he also sent me, they want to run some utility lines across my property, which I'm dead set against, for whatever money they want to pay. In other words, whatever money they're trying to get money, you know, to put their lines in. But anyway, he sent me a map of where the batteries are going to be, and I count 23. At the meeting the other night, they jumped it up to 92. What is that? 92 batteries. Who approves all this? Can they put as many batteries as they want? So that's all I want to comment. Thank you.
Happy to have any other comments if we want to. And while the next speaker comes up, as far as I'm aware, Homeland Security, Indiana Homeland Security would be the ones that would approve however many batteries they can have on a battery storage system site. So.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
As other neighbors have said, appreciate the step forward and putting a moratorium against solar to see the review where this county stance is on it. Just wanted to confirm my hearing about, I realize I can read it in the meeting minutes later, but does the current moratorium that was passed today include any language with respect to BESS, the battery energy storage system?
Here's a copy, but I think it would all be, you're welcome to have that if you like it. gonna be part of the discussion to see what we can and can't do with it. So I don't know if it's in there necessarily, but we are only allowed, I guess, I don't want to take your time. Continue to say what you want to say.
No, please carry on.
Okay, my understanding from legal is that we are in charge of the CSEs, the commercial solar energy. That's what we can permit. So that would be what our number one, I guess, our one focus that we would be on. And the rest of it would be more in general, because we don't approve the batteries, but we could make land use decisions. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I guess in the follow-up to that, in reading, I appreciate you referencing Homeland Security. I've read some of their verbiage and legislation or with respect to that, and the counties do have a voice in that. So just a question for you today is, would you guys consider a moratorium on BEST projects moving forward, retroactively and moving forward, to again, protect our county, to ensure everyone is kept safe? That was a question.
Yeah, I'm just writing this down. Yeah, I can't say that I agree or disagree that we have the right to do that, or what authority we have. I don't know that we do. Maybe part of the discussion, I'll look into it. If we have the authority to do something with it, we will. That would be my piece on it.
I would agree. I don't know what authority we have with that. I mean, I'd be open to it if I know what that is.
Thank you.
From what I've seen, I haven't seen that we have that authority, but if we do, we'll continue to look at it. Like Mr. Duncan said too, this is good. And I've said this at many commissioner meetings that we have. Every time I go through something, it's the first time I've gone through it as a public official. So I do my best to learn and to know more about it. And this would be the same thing. We'd have to bring in people that have experience to help us make these decisions and what's best practices, what is safest for our community. Do you agree with? I mean, we make the best decisions we can using our heart and what knowledge we do have, but we always have to collect more information to make decisions.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
With safety in mind for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? You can come on up, please.
I just got a question. Are the batteries?
Please say who you are.
I'm Paul Gasser. Are the batteries not listed on the permit? Do we not know how many batteries are on there? Is that what you're saying, that you don't have any control over that?
What I'm saying is we can say that we can permit the solar project as a whole, and the battery portion of it gets approved elsewhere.
So the same way with the amount of acreage of solar panels? Is that also you guys don't have any control over? I'm a little confused.
No, I guess you can look at the ordinance that we have, and the ordinance says that, to my best knowledge, is that if it meets the standard of the ordinance, then the amount of acreage is a secondary part. So yes, if they had people that would lease them 2,000 acres, they could put 2,000 acres of them as long as they met the terms of the ordinance. So they would have to have road use agreements, they would have to have the agreed setbacks, so just the components of that. So if the public gives their land to these people, then they have to meet those standards.
So so the amount of batteries doesn't matter as far as the permit goes, I guess.
Not for our permit, no.
Okay, that's what I'm doing. Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay, Roger, anything? No? You sure?
Jared Harris, lifelong West County resident. I'd like for you to take into consideration, they're basically, these batteries, no matter how many there are, it's basically like a dirty bomb within 3 miles of 4 schools and several residences, one of which is mine, which is less than a mile from it. So if something happens to these things and they start on fire, all those toxins are going somewhere. And it's going to affect people. So you need to be thinking about that. Thanks.
Thank you. identify, you look like you had something to say.
Roger Pond. I'm gonna make this quick. I use this instead of cheaters. Addressing the board's responsibilities and what you mentioned early on of their pressing needs of the corridor, the batteries, the sewage, those things are important as a whole to the county, and it's good that you recognize those as your priorities. What I briefly want to talk about is in the letter, Brad had mentioned the powers of the RDA. And just to highlight, and this is from Indiana Code 36, chapter or Article 7, 532. There's 20 lines of what the powers are of the RDA, and I'm not going to read all of them, but I'm going to hit some of the high points. They can finance, improve, construct, reconstruct, renovate, purchase, lease, acquire, and equip land and projects located in eligible counties or municipalities. And you probably all know this, but I want to, maybe if the citizenry don't take the time to read this stuff, I can kind of throw it out there. They can finance and construct improvements. They can acquire land or all or a portion of one or more projects from subdivisions, counties, or cities and lease it back with improvements to be charged. They can make loan guarantees, grants, or assistance on behalf of the following: a commuter transportation, airport authority, regional bus authority, bus services, terminals, regional transportation. They can provide funding to assist a railroad, an airport authority, development or intermodal facility. They can provide funding for economic development projects, and they can hold, use, lease, rent, acquire, dispose of, purchase, exchange, gift, bequest, grant, condemnation, lease or sublease on the terms determined by the development authority and any personal property located in an eligible county or municipality. That's just a stamp. They have, the way I read this, more authority actually than what our governing body do. They can enter into all contracts and agreements necessary or incidental to the performance of its duties and the execution of its powers under this article. They can sue, be sued, plead, and be impleaded. They can appoint an executive director, appraisers, experts, engineers, surveyors, attorneys, accountants, auditors, any consultant and necessary or desired by the development authority in exercising its powers or carrying out its duties under this article. There's more. I'll leave them off.
Your time has expired, but
there's one thing that it says the regional authority cannot do. There's only one thing that it cannot do, and that is exercise condemnation without the approval of the governing body. So 22 things they can do, only one they can't. So just an awareness that this is a monster. California had these very almost identically written RDA, and they withdrew them after about 10 years because of the corruption that it caused. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pond. Seeing no other comments, last chance. Okay. We'll double check. Anything from the auditor? Commissioner? Nope. Okay, we'll close the meeting. Thank you, everyone. Jason, you feeling okay? You're pretty short-winded today.